Hi, it's the Silly Moustache here, and first of all, my thanks to all of those of you who have responded positively with suggestions for new videos for me to make. It really does help a great deal, and I'm going to look at the first one that I'm going to answer at the moment from ThatPeterboy, who asked me about my favourite and most used chords, and how I make well-known songs my own, which is possibly worth a video on its own, we'll see, and my influences and how they've affected my playing. So, a little bit of history. I was a drummer and I wanted to sing, and those two activities don't always go very well together, especially in the 60s. I bought myself a cheap guitar, and I asked the electric guitarists in the band for advice, and they went straight up to the 7th fret. And no, it's an acoustic guitar that I want to play. And so I learned E and A and B and that sort of stuff. Okay. So I didn't do much for the first few years, struggling, didn't know what I wanted to do and how these were going to work out with the songs that I was writing at the time. But then I moved and I found myself in another county where there was a bluegrass fraternity, and I got involved in playing bluegrass. And bluegrass in the UK at that time, early 70s, was about G and C and D, or G and C and D, which is fine. But a bit later than that, in the 80s, I wasn't playing. From 83 to 93 I didn't play. I had a long and serious illness which affected my joints, so I couldn't. But I was doing a lot of listening, and I was getting into American contemporary folk and country and the singer-songwriters of mainly Texas, but many other people as well. And I found that if I was going to sing, the best chord for me was C, because it was so manipulable. So I've got C, F and G. Strangely, I didn't have any problems with the thumb over F, which has become so useful to me. And the G's, yeah, I could do a G like that, I could do a G like that, I could do a D7 like that, and sometimes I could do a G like that. So, all pretty good stuff. And of course, if you're playing in a C, you've got the A minor and the E minor, which are beautiful and very easy to fret. So, that plus the aid of this magic thing called a simple shabbo enabled me to play in C, and I tried to avoid sharps and flat keys, but I played a lot in D. Played quite a lot in E, not so much now because my voice range is reduced. And that's E. Now with the G chord, of course, with that capo on 4, I can play in B. Did a few numbers in B, but B and B flat are very popular keys for female vocalists, and so in the rare occasions when I'm accompanying a female vocalist, this solved the problem for me. So there we are, I could work out the C's. So I covered my influences. I've told you what my favourite chord is, and that's still the same. How I make well-known songs my own. Yeah, I have by accident rather than design, developed my own style. and the most obvious one there to talk about is Guy Clark's song, which I play in a completely different way to Guy or Sean Camp, which is Magnolia Wind, and this is how it came out for me. Capo could have been a bit better placed there, but never mind. I've tended to work out arrangements that worked in those keys that worked for me. Where are we? I Am a Pilgrim is usually played in a completely different place to that, but that works for me, and so that's what I've done. Wayfaring Stranger, which is usually played in A minor, but I played in E minor, or even F sharp minor. So I hope that kind of answers how I make them my own, but I have a few thoughts about songs, about singing songs, because I'm a singer who plays guitar. A song is a story to me. If it's ooh ah baby, I'm not interested. But if it's actually telling a story, then for me it is like finding the best way to enable my audience to listen to the lyrics. So as much as I love my guitars, they are the accompaniment to my vocals when I'm singing. When I'm not singing, they take over and they can play the melody line and things like that. So in a roundabout way, I think ThatPeterboy, thank you very much, I've answered that. But if you have more questions, ThatPeterboy, and anybody else about this, please comment below and I will respond. So if you have me, thanks for watching. Bye.